Sorry, hang on. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Hello, and welcome to the COCKERAL podcast, the #1 podcast in Spurs history. We are the best channel in YouTube. We are the #1 Irish channel. No matter what Dave Harris has to say, we're the Ireland's #1 Spurs channel. And joining me tonight on episode number 4 of the new COCKERAL podcast for the 24-24-5 season. Of course, is with me is my usual co-host, Mr. Tequila from the Playpad. Tequila, no samba,
Hello.
a lemon.
No, we're in serious mode today. No animals. Well, not yet anyway. Maybe later on.
Not yet. Not even the devil.
No, we got some serious stuff to discuss tonight, guys.
Oh,
we've got ourselves a new striker. Did you not hear?
I know, I didn't hear. Did we?
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently we got ourselves a new striker.
Who we got?
Oh, somebody who I don't like, but
who we got? Have we got Gary Lineker?
Gary Lineker.
Have we got Chris Armstrong?
Bobby Zamora. It's a second incarnation of Bobby Zamora.
Have we got the one and only Jimmy Greaves?
What, you going to say Jimmy Savile then?
Thanks for just getting us thrown off YouTube, Tequila. Thank you.
Well,
it was
Jimmy
lovely
Savile.
talking to you all on YouTube land. Thanks to Tequila. And also joining me, of course, it's the newest member to the family, the newest member to THFC till I die. Of course, it's the one and only Boris, who will bring sense to the discussion tonight. How are you tonight? How are you tonight, Boris? See, Boris has already done a runner after what you've just said, Tequila.
No, I was just trying to figure out what loony bins after you this time, Demo.
Yeah.
But no, not too bad. Not too bad. Thank you for having me on.
Put me in there as well, Boris. Stick us both in there. Turn the light
I will
off.
do.
Now, you can listen to this podcast, guys, after streaming. It will be on Spotify, will be on Podcast Index, and also Amazon Music. So you'll be able to listen to us on your way to work, doing your shopping, even in the gym. You'll be able to listen to us again and again. Do get over there to the THFC Till I Die podcasts on all them platforms and do listen to previous podcasts. We have put up a bonus podcast today as well for you guys. It is from my first Transfer and Rumours episode 1. We are doing another one next week. So that was a little bonus podcast for you guys. Philip is with us. He's in the background. He's looking after the chat tonight, guys. But it's been a very, very interesting day in Spurs land. We have signed a new striker in Dominic Solanke. It has divided the fan base a little bit, but look, football's all about opinions. And what you will get on here is everyone's opinions will be heard, but they will be respected. And that is what it boils down to at the end of the day. We all want the same thing. We all want Tottenham to do well. I'm just hearing a bit here. That's it. Yeah, sorry. We all want the same thing. We all want Spurs to win. We all want Spurs to win a trophy. So please be nice to each other in the chat. And please show respect to one another. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves to have their opinion. You may not agree with it. You may definitely not agree with their opinion, but respect their opinion. And they will. And it's how it should be, isn't it, Tequila?
Yeah,
it's how it should be, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, and because me and Dermo are friends, I'm still getting to know Boris. I'm friends with Phil. I'm friends with Cole, and we've all got different ideas about nearly everything. Let's be honest. But I wouldn't let anything really kind of get between us when it comes to that. Like, you know, I'm not Daniel Levy's biggest fan, but I'll tell you one thing: I'm not going to fall out with any of my friends over Daniel Levy. I wouldn't give him that much power over me. That's just an example I'm given.
Yeah. I mean, our chat's just gone normally, and these podcasts are a little bit off the wall anyway. But just looking at the chat, I don't think we can bring up half of them.
They are.
Anyway,
I shouldn't have said what I said.
No, you should not have said what you said.
YouTube, I'm sorry. It's just a joke.
Yeah. Yeah. Be careful. Big up to Carl Simpson. Good evening, gentlemen. Chat as well. Big up to Liston as well. We'll bring up your chat in a minute. Hang on, I'll just do it. Oh, sorry. There we go. I saw some rumors about Newcastle and Iron Kulu. Can't really see that one happen. I don't think that will happen. Do be Brady is watching. He will chuck tomatoes at the screen. If we mentioned Kulu.
It's true that we shouldn't be strengthening. I mean, they are going to be one of our rivals this season.
Yeah. So. Look. If he wants to go to Europe, guys, let's start on this, right? Before we get on to the Solanke thing, let's start on the Kulu thing. Okay. Look, I don't think Kulu should go to anywhere in the Premier League, and I think Kulu's best position is a cam role. I think either that or a striker. But if Tottenham did want to sell him, would you prefer him to go to Europe than anywhere else? And Tequila, I'll let you start, and then I'll bring you.
I don't mind him staying in the Premiership, but not to one of our direct rivals.
No,
I don't think he'd go to Arsenal. I wouldn't want him going to Chelsea. I wouldn't want him going to United, Villa, Newcastle. All those teams that are going to be competing with us for top 6. If you went to something like City, I probably wouldn't care, because I know in my heart of hearts that we're not going to catch City this year anyway.
Yeah. Unless
something terribly bad and maybe justice happens to them, then we're not going to be able to catch them.
Relegation.
But let's assuming that justice doesn't happen. So if City want to come in and give us money for Kulusevski, then that's fine by me. But not to any of our rivals.
No.
So.
I mean, look, where do you think Kulu's best position, Boris? Because I think Kulu's best position is a cam role. I don't think he's good as a winger, but I think he's more. What was a cam role? Where do you go?
I've said previously, with him, I feel like his best positions are in the middle. So either playing as a false 9 or as a number 10 in that regard, because we saw how good he was as a false 9 and stuff like that in the last couple of friendlies where he's had to play that, and we'll probably end up seeing him tomorrow in regards to that, because we don't have Richarlison, and Solanke won't be in before the start of the match and won't be available until then, unfortunately.
Yeah, and there is rumours. Transfer window's always silly rumours, but Kulu will be at Spurs, and I think he will do great jobs. On the thing we've got, big up to Carl. We're not bringing up your comment, Carl, nor Colin. Thank you to the man that's looking after the chat. Totally just jumped the 3 column. We cannot read them out. Oh Lord. Come on, chat. I want 1,900 subs tonight. Everyone, tell a friend. Exactly. Tell your goldfish. Tell your dog, your cat, your next door neighbor. Tell your wife's sister. Anyone. Just subscribe to the best Spurs channel.
Tell any pussies you know. Yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna have problems with you tonight, Tequila. It is after 9 o'clock. To be fair.
I said tell any cats you know.
No, you didn't. You know what you said. And the censor is working overtime, by the way. He is working overtime. Only if they give us Isaac and Bruno, I will consider it. Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I would too, actually. I would too. As well, big up to the Sasuke Guna. He says, Dermot, you were telling me our Jonathan David was going to Spuds. I told you hell to no. I told you hell to the no. And no, and see, you got Solanke.
We might get both, Dermo.
Might get both.
Considering he's only 25 million euros, so like 15 to like 18 million.
He's also a significantly different kind of striker to Solanke because he's a midget. Isn't he? He's like 5'9", so you're not going to be like winning any headers or anything.
No.
What's wrong, Dermo? What's wrong?
I think we've just offended about everyone tonight.
I don't understand.
I think it was a midget comment.
Yeah.
Okay, small person then. I don't know. What have I done wrong?
Warwick Davis wannabes. Oh, that's even worse.
Warwick Davis. The Ewoks, yeah. Ewoks are cool. Yeah. Ewoks saved the day, dude. They killed this. They helped the rebels win. Ewoks was.
Yeah.
That's going to get me some heat.
The Sasky Guna says Magpie's going to sell Gordon and buy Kulu. Ooh.
He's being sarcastic, dude. He's being sarcastic.
No, but if that was true, yeah or nay to that?
Kulu over Gordon. No, I'd take Gordon in a heartbeat. As he's a winger. Gordon's a proper winger.
Yeah. Boris?
Kulu's not a winger.
Well, the thing is, though, Gordon wouldn't come to us because the club what seems to be in for him, what keeps coming in and out of the conversation is the Scousers.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I would say yes to that. Kulu is a Swedish Guna. Yeah, he does support Arsenal. Yeah, that is so true. Yellow card for that comment. I don't know. You've already been put. Hang on. We do have a thing for that. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, we do, yeah.
We do have a yellow card thing for that. Tequila is on fire. We are 15 minutes in being out twice already.
No comment.
Oh, look, trust you. He hasn't got started yet. And no Gordon for me. I would prefer
Claire Balding because he looks like Claire Balding. Yeah, fair play, Carl. That's good. Nice
now, let's crack on with the show, guys. Let's crack on with the podcast. We did sign a striker today. Around 30 million up front for Dominic Solanke. Now he's been I was looking through his stats, guys. Do you know he's won a Premier League with Chelsea? He's also won the Under-20 World Cup with England. He's also won, I think, the Under-20 European Championship. He's won Under-17s, I think, Youth Europa League with Chelsea as well. He's also got a Champions League runners-up medal for Liverpool. So before he's even come to Spurs, he's won stuff. His most time has been at Bournemouth, between 18 to 19, 22, 23, 216 appearances he made for Bournemouth, 77 goals and 31 assists. Look, I'm a bit underwhelmed by this, to be fair. I mean, Tequila, we talked about this earlier, Tequila, in the show earlier.
Yeah.
Boris, you were in the chat more defending him, saying it's a great buy. It's 30 million up front. It's not a lot of money in the great scheme of things. But do you feel that his attitude was the defining factor between him and Tony?
That's a bit of a tough one, really, because there are two completely different styles of strikers as well, but nobody seems to also be taking that into account because, as well with Solanke as well, everybody seems to forget that he also has pace on him as well. Something, because I see Tony more as a Kane sort of striker. Yes, like with all of like a Kane sort of striker, only if it's Kane. But the thing is, I see, because we've seen Solanke and stuff like that. If you see what he does, even when he doesn't perform with his goal outputs, he always manages to get into certain situations to end up helping benefit the team. So either getting the ball up to create chances, or doesn't end up necessarily leading to goals for him, but leading to goals for others. If he manages to end up getting stuff up there, which is the main point you want in a striker. You want that sort of thing in a striker. And unfortunately, I don't think anybody really sees that because they're all people are seeing is just a massive price tag of him, really. We couldn't control of how much he was going to cost, and let's be honest, everybody says, "Oh, Tony was going to cost us 40 million," but how do we know that? We knew that was the price before the new striker from Brazil got injured. It could have probably raised to around 60 million because they could have gotten that because of how good of a striker he is. Because look, they saw how much we got for Kane last season. Last season. We got over 70 to 80 million up front for him, and then an extra 20, 30 million in bonuses to take it up to 100 million pounds. It just shows that's the sort of dealing we have to, and I just feel like they're two completely different strikers. You can't really compare them. It's like comparing beer and wine. You can't compare them in the slightest.
I mean, Tequila, look, I can let you have the other side. You bit more. You're underwhelmed, but I think you're more underwhelmed than I am.
Can I ask about the 77 goals? How many of them were in the Championship, Tommy? How many of them were in the Premiership?
They were both in Championship and Premier League.
Yeah, do you know how many were in the Championship?
Off the top of my head, I don't know because I didn't have enough time to do the proper what I wanted to do because we were doing.
So looking at those basic stats, it's more or less 1 in 3.
Yeah,
which isn't that bad for a striker. But that's why I was asking how many were in the Championship, because it's a big jump, and how many were in the Premier League.
You're looking at 30 of them being in the Premier League, and then the rest in the Championship.
I think it was like 42 or something were Championship. Yeah. The rest were Premier League.
Rest for Premier League.
So, on an appearance to goals ratio, it doesn't look that bad to me. Just like I say, just in the numbers there. But you have to look at his Premiership, which is where he's going to be playing, right? So you have to look at his Premiership records. And yeah, he did do well last season. 19 goals is good. I never said it wasn't. And I also agree with Boris when it comes to that the player can't. It's not the player's fault that he's 65 million. Just like it's not Brendan Johnson's fault that he was 45 million, whatever he was. Just like it's not Richarlison's fault that he was 50 plus 10 add-ons.
Yeah.
But he's still only done it really for 1 season. And I am concerned that buying any player for 1 season, and I can give you lists of other players that have come into the Premiership and done well for 1 season and then vanished off a cliff. And I was asked a question in one of our private chats that, can I tell the future? No, I can't. But I also can't tell the future either way. So I don't know if it's going to be a success. And it seems like a very big risk and a lot of money on, at the moment, a 1 season wonder. At the moment. And I just think that if people would have asked, and this is the thing that nobody really seems to be admitting, except me, in my opinion, if people would have asked a year ago after we sold Harry Kane, and for the record, no, I'm not expecting a Kane 1-for-1 replacement. There are no other Harry Kanes. Harry Kane is literally a generational talent. There are no other Harry Kanes. Yeah. We were never going to get another Harry Kane, right? For the record. But I think if you would have asked most of us fans, what striker do you want? We all would have had different ideas. How many percentage would have said Dominic Solanke? There might have been a couple. Maybe Boris is one of them. That's fair enough. But not many.
I don't think many people would have said Ivan Toney either. I think they would have gone more European. They would have gone for a Vlahovic or somebody.
Or like Martinez.
Or Martinez. Or Gimenez. Players like that. But
and that's my standpoint. That's where I'm coming from, right? It doesn't matter if I'm a leave in or leave it out. To be honest, I don't care about that. It's not about that. It's about is that if you asked me a year ago, we're settling, in my opinion. I don't know how much. I don't know how much we're settling because I'm not in Ange Postecoglou's head. Only Ange knows how much he's settling and how much he wanted him. None of us, not me, not Boris, nobody else knows. So I can only go by the fact that I don't think he was our number 1 choice. I can't tell you if it was our 2nd choice or 5th choice. I got no way of knowing that.
We don't know that, and that's the thing. We can only assume, or we can only assume that he was our number 2 choice. We can only assume that we were after Toney. Maybe we were after Solanke the whole time. We don't know that. I mean, we're not in there in the meetings between Daniel Levy and Ange Postecoglou and other people. I mean, look, his Premiership record is 29 goals in 134 games in the Premier League, which Colin says that it's a poor return for a striker. It is, but I think last season he was playing in a system that suited him.
Well, it's not even just that. If you also look at what team he was in back when Bournemouth first came up, like you saw compared to like the previous seasons before last season, that Bournemouth side was completely different.
Yeah, and we look, and if you look at it that way, we're never going to get another Harry Kane. Harry Kane, we were lucky to get Harry Kane. And why I say we were lucky before somebody starts jumping on my back, he came through the youth academy. We didn't know how good Harry Kane could be, or how good he would become. I mean, there is Tim Sherwood. There is out there in the podcast that he was. Daniel Levy was going to sell Harry Kane to Leicester for £100,000. Tim Sherwood said, no, I want to play him tomorrow. And he played him, and the rest is history. I mean, Wilton McDonald put in the chat yesterday about, and he was bringing Philip into this conversation because Philip and him have seen a lot more Tottenham than the three of us have put together. And he said everyone's saying that Harry Kane's the greatest striker of all time. And we had this discussion earlier, didn't we, Tequila? That Harry Kane is the greatest striker of his generation. I think the greatest striker of all time, I think, is Jimmy Greaves. And I think you could put Jimmy Greaves, I think, in any generation of football, and he will score you the same amount of goals, if not more, than he did back in the 60s. Because don't forget, the pitches were a lot heavier. The ball was heavier. Now they're playing on pitches that are so smooth. The ball's lighter. The boots are lighter. So I think Harry Kane was the best of his generation. I think if you were looking at the best Spurs striker of all time, I think you would have to say Jimmy Greaves, in my view.
You're going to get lots of different answers there, Mike. It depends when you're watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people say to me, "Who's the greatest Formula One driver ever?" And you can say Lewis Hamilton, you can say Michael Schumacher, you can say Ayrton Senna, but they all drove in different eras, and players play in different eras too. Maradona was probably the greatest player of his era in the 80s. Michel Platini was one of the greatest European players ever to come out of Europe. And it's all done in eras. And Harry Kane was the best of his era. And it's very hard for us to sell Harry Kane and get another striker in to match Harry Kane's stature, Harry Kane's statistics, and Harry Kane's goal ratio. You were never going to find that unless you paid over 150, 200 million for a top-end striker. And also we had to buy an English-born striker as well.
Dermo, are you sure about that one? We didn't have to buy an English striker. It was preferable, but I'm sure.
Well, we had to because we can't buy the foreign side of our squad is full.
Did we just sell Emerson?
Yeah, but we have to sell more than that. We have to sell 3 or 4 to get a few in. Because we're so stacked in that part of the game. And for the homegrown, we do have to buy an English striker. So you're very limited to who you can buy.
Well, that's even more of a condemnation of the board then for letting us get in that position.
I don't think. Well, I suppose it is for that in a way. But what do you think, Boris? Why do you think it is a combination? Then we bring Boris in, Tequila. Then why do you think that? What makes you say that?
If we've got ourselves into a position where we need a striker, which we have since we've sold Kane, we've needed a striker. Yeah. If we have put ourselves into a position that limits us to one nationality, or such a limited pool of players, then what more proof of incompetence do you need? Because if we put ourselves into a position we've got so little options that it's Solanke or Tony, which are the two names that keep getting branded around, which for the record, I didn't particularly want either. But we've got ourselves in that position that it's only those two. Then what the hell are we doing? Why have we put ourselves in that position?
Boris, what do you say to that? I mean, Carl says, no, it's not. No, it's because they want to get rid of Skip. It wasn't that we needed an English striker. I mean, do you agree with Tequila, or do you see things slightly different?
I see it on both sides, really, in the fact that I agree with Tequila's point of, like, the board did kind of get themselves into this position by, let's say, even just having Sarr remain on loan at Metz for, like, when we first bought him. We could have brought him and put him down into, like, the Championship or, like, the League One or something like that. Well, the Championship would probably be the best one for him, because then that would have given his chance to meet the homegrown quota of, like, club homegrown quota talent, so where he can be registered under that talent, because you need to be trained for, like, 3 years or more until from as young as you can to, like, up to 21 to actually end up getting that quota done. But I'd say but I also agree with Tequila in the sense that the board shouldn't have got themselves into this year. We should have been looking for more, like, English players across, like, other positions as well. Like, As English players, it's a hard thing to come by, but also as well, you also have to think with English players, we can also bring up some of the youngsters as well, what we can then register. They don't have to be registered, but if we bring them into the squad and register them, nonetheless, that would still class to the homegrown and train.
And that right there is a really good
Mikey
point.
Moore, if we bring Mikey Moore, Jamie Donnelly, Will Lancashire, that's three what are club grown and homegrown. That'll give us that quota sorted. But I just don't think they want to see. I think they also want to see it like showing that we have like a big English striker, because last time we had that was KANE, obviously. So I think they still want to be recognised as a club what still has big English talent in the strike up at the number 9, even if that was Tony or Solanke. They want to show that we still got that sort of way. So I think it's a bit of both, really. Like the board should have realised that we had a bit too many players who weren't homegrown talents or anything like that, but they've also then got to realise if that's the problem, why not look into other positions as well? Like we can't just stop. Like we also have to remember it's not just like yes, Levy signs the checks at the end of the day, but we've got Scott Munn now, haven't we? In regards to that, to actually get us those homegrown talents, we've got Johan Lang, what can get us that, because he's the chief. He's the chief scout now. Pretty sure technical director.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
So he should be. He should be
as well.
Yeah, he should be
on as well.
Oh yeah, of course, the Don. We can't, but they need to realise that the rules are also like. I'm surprised the Don didn't realise this because of the Serie A is a hell of a lot stricter than the English league is when it comes to registration rules. You can't. You have 3 non-EU player slots that'll include players from the UK, North America, Africa, Asia. You can only have 3 players registered from that. That's how strict it is. So most of them have to be European talents. That's how strict it is.
Yeah, it is. And look, I do feel that everyone should take responsibility for this. We had a year to find a replacement for Harry Kane. And look, to be fair, I think we should have had a replacement for Harry Kane when he left us. I think we should have had somebody lined up straight away to come in. We got away with it last year, I think, in some points. Sonny did his bit. Richie did his bit as well, to be fair. And I look, does Solanke have to start, for you, Tequila, have to start well? Has to start firing. If he starts well and Tottenham start brilliantly this season, will your sort of how you feel about Solanke, will that go away?
Generally, fans are pretty fickle. If he starts banging them in every week, I think even the most, I suppose, jaded fan or unconvinced fan, of which is probably worse ones than me, by the way, will probably. So yeah, and you know what? For me, anyway, I'm more than happy. I want that to happen. I want at the end of the season. I think Philip yesterday asked me to retract. I haven't retracted anything, but I will come out and say at the end of the season, if he gets 20 goals, I'm not expecting 30 goals. If he gets 19 goals, or like what he did, then I will come on and I will admit to you, okay, he's proven that he's not a one-season wonder. So that criticism of him that I've got, which is my main criticism, or what I'm more scared of, if that's a better word to use, or apprehensive of, he would have proved me, you know what? Okay. He's a player who's peaked late in his career, later, because that can happen. What's his name? From the player from Leicester who was in non-league?
Jamie Vardy.
Perfect example there of a player who came from non-league and he peaked very late in his career. So I'm not saying it's impossible. All I'm saying is we spent an awful lot of money and it might be a bit of a gamble when I don't know if we needed to take the gamble. But we have, and that's it. And I'll support him, and I hope to be proven wrong. And I'll come on at the end of the season and say, you know what, I was wrong. Ange was right. I would hope Ange knows more about football than me. Otherwise, why is he the manager? You know?
Can I just say also, before we get Boris and I want to welcome a few people in. I've started a few things as well. Look, we all want him to do well. We all want Solanke to do well on this channel. And look, we're all Spurs fans. It doesn't matter which side, what we think. On this channel...
That's a good shout. What Com said there, that's actually a good shout.
Yeah, it is. And we are going to get to that. I'm going to start that. There's a few I've starred actually in the chat. And I want to welcome 1 or 2 people in. But I think you make a very fair point, Tequila, on Solanke that he has got to start well. But I think when Ange looks at a player, he looks at the whole package. He looks at how he is within the dressing room. How is that going to upset the apple cart within the dressing room?
Yeah.
And how is he going to fit into an Ange system? He does work harder than Ivan Toney. He does. He's got 31 assists in his time at Bournemouth, and he is quick. Boris is spot on. He is very, very quick. So I think he's a better choice than Toney. A, because of his attitude. B, because he is quick, and we do have quick wingers as well. Not everyone is a Johnson or a Werner fan. Sonny's quick as well. And it depends how well he's going to play with Maddison as well. Is he going to connect with Maddison? Is he going to link up with him well? Look, we were never, ever going to get another Harry Kane. And I don't think you will get another Harry Kane. I think for another 10 or 20 years.
Yeah. I feel like the closest what we will get to another Harry Kane will be Lancashire. But
I think
that's going to take a lot of time to see what come out and into fruition.
Yeah, I agree with you, Boris, because I feel Lancashire is very much like that. Philip said to me, and I think the Killer did as well, he scored a goal which was very Harry Kane-like.
Yeah.
I want to say big up to David Shearer as well, who's just come in the shite. Big up to David.
David, you can clip it all you want, mate. I'm not someone who goes back. I've got no problem. I told you I want to be proven wrong, bro.
So big up to you, David, as well. I just want to bring up a few comments here. I've starred them, Philip. So if you can, I'll bring up this one. If you go into the SARD section, Khan's saying this is the problem we have now. Let me take that down for you guys. We have now. It's not just Levy. This all used to say he's the master talker. He's the master tradesman sort of thing, getting players in. Now he is not. He has completely found out. So we can't do this in the market anymore. I feel like Steve Hitchen for me Steve Hitchen for me at this time gets a very big pass. I think it's very easy to blame Daniel Levy for the bad buys, and I feel Steve Hitchen did do them buys and told Levy these are the players that we need, and they weren't turned out to be very good players. Don Bele for once. Tango.
I got to quickly throw this in, Demo. I can't
go ahead.
Throw this in. Who hired Steve Hitchen?
Yeah, I get that, and I was getting there. But I still feel that Steve Hitchen does get a pass where he did make mistakes. Now, Levy did hire him. Levy should have sacked him, correct. He brought in the Don. And I just feel we've now got a proper scouting network. I think it is much better. It is. And Levy's not so much hands-on like he used to be. Do you feel, and this is from you both to you, by the same question to pair of you, do you feel there's more of a line of communication between Ange and who buys the players than there was before Paratici came into the club?
Boris, you can take this one first, bro.
All right, then, cheers. I'd say there was, really, considering we saw like how it was under Poch's reign. We didn't really see many deals coming through due to like the stadium, of course, and alongside other things, we saw barely anything in. We saw more Poch just have his hands off of the transfers, and it looks like it was more. I think Steve Hitch was in charge of that sort of stuff at the time. I don't know because I wasn't really around during them. I was towards the end of the Poch reign, so but from what I saw of Poch, I didn't really see much of him like in the transfer market myself. I thought it was more like board signing to try and access certain markets and stuff like that. Like I say, probably the best signing we've had over the past decades. I can just list them like I can list four real the best ones we've had. Son off by Leverkusen, Sissoko, Ericsson and Dele Alli. Those are the four what I've only seen as great signings for the club. You guys might have seen more because of how long you've been Spurs fans, but over the past decade, I've only seen them as like the best signings, and those have all been like in or around where Poch has come into play. So I see them more as like board signings, what they saw, like, oh, he has potential and stuff like that. And I don't feel that Poch had really that much of a say on any other signings. Like, I feel like he had some say on some signings, but the majority of them I just feel like wasn't his sort of signings. Like, if he had more of a say on it, let's say, we could have probably been doing something a lot differently. Like I'd say, I don't know, was Ndombele Jose signing or a Poch signing? I don't know, because he came in around that time when Poch was about to be sacked, and then it was Jose came in.
Yeah, was he a Poch signing, Tequila? I'm trying to think back now. I think he was a Poch signing, wasn't he?
Yeah, near the end, I think.
Near the end,
because it was like 1920 when he came in, wasn't it? It was like during COVID he came, like just before COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, maybe people let us know. Tequila, where are you with this? I mean, same question to you. I mean, I do get what you're saying, that Levy is responsible for the people he hires, and rightly so. But where are you on this? Do you feel other people should take responsibility, not just the one person? Who do you think the buck, as normal things, the buck stops at the top?
I think if you take the praise, you've got to take the criticism, no matter what you are, right? And Levy is the custodian of the club and has been for the last 25 years, whatever, right? So anything that good happens, he should be given credit for. Anything bad happens, he should be criticised for. So, but some people are, and I'm not saying Levy's like this because I don't know him personally, but some people are kind of megalomaniacs where they've got to have their hand in everything. Levy shows certain signs of that and has done, especially when it comes to transfers, especially when it comes to concluding deals. Like, he's always got to get his piece of the pie almost, right? He's always got to get himself involved. And we saw in a documentary, so we don't have much to go on other than hearsay, but we saw in a documentary, he's way too hands-on, more than I think most chairmen is, sitting around having meals with the players. We don't know how much that was for show or not. We don't know how much of that was for show. But if he's really that hands-on, then I say he's got that little bit of a kind of a megalomaniac thing where he's got his hand in everything. Now, as he's gotten older, maybe he's calmed down a little bit. And the first sign I've seen of that was the Paratici signing. Because I feel he did delegate and give Paratici responsibility. And even though Paratici officially is kind of not meant to be around, it's blatantly obvious from our transfers of mainly Serie A players, the majority anyway, or an awful lot of them, that he is still a very big influence. And it could be that once his ban is done, he will come back officially. So I think that's a good delegation. I've criticised Levy for a lot of his bad delegations. Do you remember Frank Arneson? Do you remember that, Frank Arneson?
Yeah, I do.
He tried, and he's gone through nearly as many as director of football as he has managers. They don't last long.
He was the one that got Yol the sack in the end, I think. He
went to Chelsea, didn't he, Frank Arneson?
Yeah,
he went to Chelsea.
So
we've gone through a lot of these director of footballs, or whatever you want to call them, and this Lange fella obviously is the latest in line. But I think it's Paratici, from what I can see, and people are going to joke about Paratici's cooking. I'm not going to say that, but there's no denying that there. If you look, it's very convenient that our transfer windows generally have been of a higher quality since Paratici came in. Paratici played a big role in getting Kulu and Bentancur, which galvanised us to just about getting the fourth place. That he was behind that. They both came through Juventus, and that's not a coincidence, right? So he was behind that one, getting those two in, which galvanised us to fourth place. And he played a role in getting other Serie A players. The only Serie A player I think that we've got that there is a question mark over is Ragusin, because it hasn't so far worked out for him. It hasn't been long enough, but so far, it hasn't really worked out for him so far. But the rest have been top quality mainly. So,
no, I agree with you, Tequila. I can't really disagree on what you say. I would say big up to Early Doors Football TV, the only West Ham fan I actually do respect, and he knows that. So big up to you, so and everyone get over to his channel. What a great channel he does run. He really does. He runs a very fair. He does it with an Arsenal fan as well. It's a great watch on the Sunday evening when you're chilling out. There's not a lot on telly. There's no heartbeat or whatever people watch. Just stick on Early Doors Football TV. It's a great watch. It's a great great channel as well, and they have good chat about football, and it's good. So big up to you, sir. Hope you're doing well. And we've got Why Sly says, I'm fed up with club signings. Coach Levy signing excuse. I trust Ange. Also, at the same time, I need some accountability from him. I judge signings at the end of the season. And I think we all should judge this window at the end of the window. There's no point judging it now. There really is no point. Louis Chill Music says we need Paratici back at the club. I agree with you. Paratici, for me, has a knack of spinning about 15 different plates.
Dermo, I'm not sure he ever left.
I don't think he did. He's working as a consultant, but he spins 50 different plates, guys, right? But he always ends up getting the right players in. How the hell he does it, I don't know.
I wouldn't give him a 100% track record. Then again, no one's got that, but he's got a good percentage. Yeah.
He has, yeah. He really does. Yeah, just they weren't being brought up. That's why I was just saying. I'm just saying to Philip if he can bring them up because I wasn't sure where we were, so I was just welcoming people in. Yeah, so we got there. So look, we need Paratici back at the club. We do absolutely. And then Carl saying hello, mate. All good here. You okay? Early doors football. Yeah, good. Thanks, Carl. And then we've got Carl's one at the bottom, which I think is a very good point. What I want to bring up down at the bottom. I'll wait for that to be brought up. Where we here it is. Paratici in his black book is still active. That's why we wouldn't surprise me if we get
Chiesa.
Right. One word answer, yes or no in this. Tequila?
Yes.
Boris?
Yep.
Do you know what? I think he might end up at the club as well. Who would he come in for, do you think, in the team?
It'd be a right wing position, I'd probably say, because that's how he mainly plays.
I do think that if we were to get Kulu, I think he could if you class Kulu as a winger.
I feel like under this system he's starting moving centre, so I think everybody needs to start judging him as a attacking midfielder or a false nine now instead of classing him as a winger now.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not sure he comes in for anyone. I think he just comes in. Does that make sense? I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's that good of a player. I think it was just like his issues as well were just like what Neto did, his injuries.
I would prefer Chiesa. I prefer Chiesa over Neto, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I think anybody would because he's a lot less injury prone than Neto.
Competition for Johnson.
I think he'd smash Johnson out of the park.
Yeah,
sorry to offend you.
I've got to agree. I've got to agree. Boris, he would.
No. I don't believe. No. I'm backing my boy Johnson to come good.
Johnson would be on that bench. He would be on that bench.
He'd be a bench warmer.
Yeah. Big up to Milton as well from down under. Big up everyone on panel in the chat. Smash the like button. Lots of love from Australia. In Ange we trust. Absolutely in Ange we trust. Look, I want to go back. I want to do a little bit of a dismiss. We've got one side, Paratici signings, in my opinion, helped us from Metz becoming the top four side. I hope Ange and Lang elevate, become a win in the title side. Ange did say he wants to win the title with Spurs. Can it happen? Let's see. Carl said Chiesa can play across the midfield as well. Yes, he can play
left, central, and right.
Yeah, he is a bit. But to be honest, if this is Phil, I think Phil.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think we'd be able to get him if he didn't have the injury record. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that is what probably stops the top clubs from going for him.
Not even just that. I think there's also some issues probably in Juventus, which is the thing what scares me because Moretta isn't wanting him. So that's the thing what's concerning me because we're seeing how many players come. A perfect example, players will come from the Serie A to the Premier League and he ends up being a massive scandal underneath them. Perfect example, Tonali.
I agree with Carl as well. That's a good point. I think he'd be very good to learn under. Johnson could actually learn quite a lot by being mentored by him as well.
Yeah, he would be. He would be very good to mentor him. Look, now I've got up, lads. These are the last 4 transfer windows: 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25. Now, as you can see, look, and I want to get this. People saying Levy doesn't spend money, or the club doesn't spend money. This is just transfer windows only. Summer transfer windows only. And I think I sort of dismissed that myth. And I've knocked it out the park. Now, as you look, the prices have got up. The 21, 22, we spent over 95.9 million on players. And the 4 of them have all made a loss in the 4 of them. Last season, we spent 272 million on players. This year alone, we've already spent 108 million. So I'll start with you, Boris, and I'll start with you, Tequila, because you're the more how can I put it?
Go on.
How can I put it?
I'm the more boo, Levy.
No,
Boo.
you're not. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Well, out of me and Tequila, he is, yes.
Yeah.
No, I've never really said we don't spend any money. I mean, okay, so context is king. So it's like you have to look at what our overall balance sheets were, right? And then percentage is important, right? You know, with the new stadium, those numbers might not. If we were in the old White Hart Lane, I don't think anyone would have anything to say because we're spending 100 million plus, even further in some of the years. But with the new stadium and those bullshit promises, and I'm going to call it as I see it because I think they were bullshit promises that Levy did, you can argue that those numbers could be higher, only because of the new stadium and all the stuff that it's meant to be generating for us. So I would say that we have spent money, but you could argue that we could spend a bit more. You yourself, Dermo, not that long ago, did say to me, "Where's all our money gone? Why haven't we got any money?" Interesting. I haven't got an answer for you, Dermo, but it's interesting. Where is all our money? I don't know.
You're muted, Dermo.
I'm muted. So unprofessional. So unprofessional.
You really are.
I mean, look, just very quickly, Carl is saying money or Reggie for Raffia. We are going to get onto that. So
that'd be lovely. He's a great player.
Yeah, if Philip can start the last 2 comments there, I want to get back onto them. Very much so, if Philip can. If you look there, Boris, we've made an overall balance loss on the last 4 transfer windows, but we can spend up to 400 million on FFP. This was our window to smash some clubs out of the water. Now, for whatever reason, we haven't done it. Now, what do you put that down to? Do you put that down to a lot of the European leagues are broke? They haven't got the money to buy players? Are they all waiting for the Saudi Pro League to put in their money, which is anything up to 2 billion, into the transfer market itself? Are European clubs waiting for them to do their business? It's not. I cannot. Not everything is Levy's fault, but is this a market that is saturated with players, but nobody can afford to buy them?
I think it's all of the above, really, because we saw how after Russia, China, and America, when they all became like the big spend money league, we saw how that affected the markets. It went like a lot of money was spent once all of the American league, when the MLS became like the big spend league, the Chinese Super League became the big spend league, and the Russian Premiership became the big league where I spend all the money. We saw how much of it came out, and like how little after once they didn't end up spending in their second season. We saw other teams not really spending as much. I think it's just how the market works, unfortunately. We saw how much Chelsea generated in revenue last season because of the connections, from what it seems like, with Emperor Palpatine Burley and and the Saudi League, we saw how those were that connected, and that ended up damaging the transfer market, especially quite a bit. And not even just that as well. I think we just have to. We also have to wonder as well, like what happens as well if the money isn't spent. What will happen then? Like, will the market just end up fixing itself in that regard? Because we don't know how it'll end up working out. We don't know if the market will fix itself or it'll remain broken because of how much money we spent last season from the Saudi League. But as well as to go back onto your point about the other leagues too broke, I think they are in that aspect as well compared to us. Compared to the English Premier League and La Liga, it's every other league like really far behind us. Like we saw like Bayern, we haven't really seen them doing much transfer activity this window, have we? They spend most of their money probably for the next few seasons on Kane. And then we've also seen as well, like teams sniffing around Florian Wirtz as well, like the by Leverkusen kid. We saw how good of a season he had, and now teams are sniffing around him, like Man City and so on. We don't know what will end up happening with him, and if he goes, then they'll get a huge influx of cash. So overall, you have to wait for us or the Saudi League or La Liga to make actions. But even then, in La Liga, the only two teams will really have money or access to money is somehow Barcelona. I don't know how they're still in business.
I don't know how they're
probably
doing
some dodgy backstreet dealings, considering somehow they've managed to afford Dani Olmo and they still owe the club Bordeaux money, and now they've gone under. So it's a bit dodgy nonetheless, but
it is.
That's a talk for another time.
Yeah, it is very dodgy. I mean, look, we're into the last bit of the podcast now, guys. White sides are here. I watched We Are Tottenham TV, and they said we have 29 squad players, need to sell 6 before we sign anybody. But I think we have sold 1 and bought 1 today. Also, Emerson has come out today, guys. Philip also said Barcelona forward sold their TV rights for a mountain of cash, and I think they got dumped for that as well. To be fair, I think they undersold themselves. Tequila, look, I just want to go very quickly through these. If Philip can just hand down that comment there very quickly for me, if he doesn't mind. Just like that, so I can bring up these very thing. So between the two lots, we spent over £656.15 million between the time period of 2021-22, 24-25. Now, these are the departures today. Now, Velez, which we will go on to next week's podcast, you talked about it during the week about loaning players abroad. Silly. We are going to talk about the podcast next week, Tequila, so we are going to bring that up. These are the players out. Højbjerg is a loan to buy, so that's a loan to buy with an obligation. Eric Dyer's gone. Dombele's gone. Joe Rodon went for 11.8 million. Emerson Royale went for 15 million today. We wish him all the very best from Emerson Royale. Out of 10, how would you give his Tottenham career, Tequila? Out of 10,
Emerson, 5. I think he's quite an average player. Don't think he's the worst. I wouldn't put him in the same bracket as some of the other people on this list. But depends what it depends what you want out of your fullback. If you want defensive fullback, he's pretty good. If you want an attacking fullback, I think it's rubbish. I don't think he's a very good footballer, but he is a good athlete.
Boris, out of 10, what would you give Emerson's career at Spurs?
5, as same as Tequila. He's had shocking times of his career, but he also managed to redeem himself a couple of seasons ago with all of his with paying from what he got out of the wages from Tottenham and putting it back into himself, like into training better private training lessons and stuff like that. He just proved that he was determined at the club. I hope him all the best in his career, and I hope he ends up doing well at Milan. Not too well and ends up battering us, but hope he does well.
But I also think he deserves credit for coming in playing centre back for us last week. And Philip is right. His affectionate, his attitude will be missed in the dressing room. On the pitch, less so. But he came in to play centre back for us last season when we needed that, and he did step up. So look,
Demo, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
What do all these players have in common?
How Eric Dyer went to Bayern Munich.
No, we've taken the loss on every one of them.
Yeah, we have actually.
I'm not sure on Joe Roden. Remind me how much we paid for him. That's the only one I'm not 10 million.
Was it 10 million?
If it's 10 million, then we've made a profit on him. What does that tell you? That even the best player there, which in my opinion is Højbjerg,
I'm sad he's gone.
Even him, we took a loss on. And I thought people were telling me last year, I'm not going to give any names out, but people were telling me, he's one of your, we should sell him because we're going to get decent money for him. He's going to be one of our most sellable assets. You're joking, right?
Yeah, the year left in his contract.
Well, again, it's short-sightedness, Tottenham, in my opinion.
But
all these players we've lost. Look how much money we've lost on all those players.
I know.
Take Valise out of it because obviously
he's coming back. But yeah, look. I joke about Eric Dyer. Way back, here's Philip with his history. Way back in the 60s and 70s, Spurs took a loss on nearly all the players who left, so it's nothing new. We were doing it back then as well.
It was still not good, is it though?
I mean, I look, a joke aside, this is a joke, but how the hell did Eric Dyer end up at Bayern Munich? I still do not know.
They put it in Kane's contract. Must bring lapdog with me, and then that.
I'm sorry Højbjerg's left. I'm devastated. Højbjerg was one of my favourite players. Walking Harry Kane's dogs.
Exactly. Yes.
I mean, seriously, guys, when that transfer came through, were you flabbergasted that he was actually going there? It was for me.
I figured that Eric Dyer just won in life. He just won the lottery.
Yeah. Very quickly, Boris, I'll start with you quickly. We've bought in the likes of Archie Gray for 41.25 million. We've bought in the Swedish Messi, as he's been called, Lucas Bergville. Philip speaks very highly of him. And what I've seen of both
I'm with Philip on that bus.
I am as well.
He looks good.
And Dominic, now these are in euros, they're not in pounds. I'm sorry, I work in euros where I live. I don't work in pounds, so I do apologise. I'm sure you can work the difference out, but the euro is better.
You're talking to two English blokes, though, Mo. We need the pounds.
I tell you one thing: I go over to England, I lose money. I gain it coming back, but I lose it going over.
You sure you were just getting your pocket picked? This is England, by the way.
Yeah, probably is.
And with you always going to London as well, so it won't surprise me.
And I'll tell you another thing, right? Going into Heathrow Airport, right? Coming from Ireland, not a problem going in. Getting out of the country, I have to go through, at Heathrow Airport, I have to go through about 4 or 5 different parts of security.
I could make so many immigrant jokes right now.
I know you could. Just don't.
Well, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut, but it's so hard for me right now.
But anyway, Archie Gray, Bergveld, Solanke, Skipper's on the way out as well. We're looking at, as long as Spurs give Gray and Bergveld are given the time without the pressure, I'm fine. Same here. They love Eric Dyer in Munich. Must be the beer. So we've got 3 in, and possibly another 3 coming in as well. So it could end up being a very good window. Last question on this podcast. We're trying to keep it to an hour, so I want to keep it to an hour.
You did miss, as Carl says, you missed
Werner.
Speed Demon.
Oh, Werner, yeah, I did miss Werner. Yeah, but he's on loan. We didn't pay anything for him. I want to try to keep this podcast to an hour, so I'm trying my very best.
Okay.
Last question, guys. I don't know what the last question was, actually. I did have it in my head.
He's been talking too much about immigration. It's gone to his head.
That's not me. That's Tequila put me off my.
Tequila. I think he keeps getting stopped by Ian Foot.
Yeah, probably. You miss Werner like his chances.
That's really good comment on it.
Let's end the show where we started on Solanke. Last question is I don't know. I've totally gone off the road. This podcast has gone sideways to the dogs, where I'm going to go and play later on Watch Dogs. Let's finish where we started. Solanke. How many goals will he score this season? Tequila.
If we had better if we had better crosses of the ball, I could see him getting some.
Yeah.
But we just don't have good crosses. That's what worries me. So if we're really going to get the best out of this dude, then we really need a great cross of the ball to come in. Is that Chiesa? Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. As of right now, I don't know. If he gets double figured, I'll probably be impressed. I don't think he's going to get 19, so I think that I won't be coming back in a year and saying I was proven wrong. I don't think he'll get 19, but he could get double figures. We need a winger who's going to cross the ball so he can do his thing. If we get one of them, then my expectations rise.
Yeah, but still doesn't answer the question. You've answered the question. Whether
double figures. 11.
Yeah, figure. Yeah, 11.
11.
Boris?
Again, it's all in all competitions because we're also in Europa League as well.
Just Premier League.
Did you mean all competitions, Domo? Oh,
no,
yeah,
11. Just Premier League alone.
Premier League, okay, then I'd say goals, I'd say 15, but including assists, I'd probably say taking it up to a total of 22. So 22 GA, 15 goals, 7 assists.
I'm going to stick my neck on the block and say he's going to get 22 goals just in the Premier League.
Better sign somebody.
I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong.
Better sign a good crosser.
Round table talk. I'll be shocked if Solanke has less than 20. I'll go for 22. Erwin, big up, Erwin. Hope you're doing well.
He's saying in a while, Erwin. How we doing?
He's saying 4. Milton saying 15 goals and 5 assists.
Owen disliked him even more than me. There you go. What a play. Yeah. I'm not the only one.
Column is going with once we bring Column.
He said against Man City.
Yeah.
I think Column's got a certain agenda. I'm just wondering what it is.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm going for 22 goals in the Premier League. You can clip us all on that. I'm sure Colin will clip us all on that.
Well, if it's across all competitions, I go 35 plus, really. If it's against all competitions, you can clip me on that. I don't care.
Yeah.
Considering how many games there are in Europa League and how late games against.
Very true.
Yeah, but he's not going to play all of them, is he?
No, very true.
Carabao Cup, FA Cup too.
Apparently, we have been clipped. Well, big up to everyone. Thank you for watching the Cockerel Club podcast. It's been a great podcast. What we've got coming up in THFC till I die? Well, we've got a few pre-records for me and Tequila over the weekend. We're doing a 10 or 15-minute pre-match show on the game on Saturday. Tomorrow, we are bringing you that live. Tomorrow, what we're doing tomorrow? Tomorrow, we've got the watch-along between Tottenham against Bayern Munich, which is also live on TNT. So if anyone's got TNT or used to be BT Sports, it is live on there. So you don't have to buy, you can watch it on there. You don't have to buy Spurs play. So that is good news. Then we're back on Monday with all the news talk. Any breaking news for transfers we'll bring to you first. Next Wednesday, I don't know if we're doing around the ground, so I'm still not sure.
It's going to be hard because you're going to be on Irish Hotspur, aren't you? Appreciate.
Yeah, I'm going to be. Yeah, got something else that I've been so maybe Colin might do around the grounds for me with I don't know if he will. I have to speak to him. We are back, and then next Wednesday we're doing our Premier League preview, where we give all our thoughts. Now, I was supposed to do the lads' teams. I do apologise. I ran out of time because I was doing other things. The lads have given me their teams over. I will get them up, and I will put them up on the community page for you guys. So I'm still waiting for the Keelers. I'm still waiting for... I've got yours, Boris, and I've got yours... Carl and Philip. So I'm just waiting for yours, Tequila. Once I get that, I will put them all up on the community page. So I do apologize. I didn't get them up tonight within the podcast. I want to thank everyone so much for earlier show today that we did. We've got massive numbers and we've gained in subscribers. So please do hit the like button, hit the subscription. If you are enjoying this is going out on all podcasts, on all these amazing platforms, Spotify, Podcast Index, and also Amazon Music as well. It will be going up tomorrow. And that is the Cockerel Club podcast. Tequila, where can people find you, sir?
They can find me obviously in this great channel of you lovely guys, and also on the Play Pouch, which is a gaming channel, which we do a show every week, and talking about the games industry, stuff like that. So please give us a subscribe. Thanks for having us, Dermo.
Also news, if you just look at your subscriber count, Dermo, it's 10 away now.
That is down to Mrs. Tron, who's just reminded me. Also, you see that little QR code in the corner? Mrs. Tron is the boss of the channel. You know, she is. Everyone knows the boss in this channel is Mrs. Tron. She is our boss. And she always reminds me, and I always keep forgetting, and bless her, love her to bits, she is my rock.
Are you sure she's not the loony bin warden?
No, she I think she might put me into the loony bin. But Mrs. Tron is the boss of the channel. Also, hit that little QR code in the corner above Sunny. And if you do, that is our official partner, Wraith Energy, where you get on there, you get 10% off your first order by putting in the code THFCTID for 10% off, where you get all your energy drinks. You get your drinks, you get your mugs, you get your caps. I had bath water off them, and believe it or not, it was lovely.
You're not meant to drink it, You're not meant to drink it.
No, it is. It's a lovely energy drink. It's powder and you add water. Please do, guys. If you get stuff up them, it helps them. Also, Tequila, very quickly, forget you, Boris. Do you want to suggest about a Patreon as well? Because you're very good at that.
You said me or Boris? Which one?
You,
Tequila. Me? Yeah, do you want me to put the Patreon in the link? Yeah, if you could, if anyone's got any spare cash to throw around, we would be really grateful, because we can't get our memberships back yet, although we are trying. Eventually, hopefully we plan to, but as of right now, the best way to support us is on Patreon, and I'm going to put it in the chat now. Thank you very much.
And Boris, where can people find you? And I tell you, the last 2 shows you've done, Boris, you've been absolutely fantastic. Welcome to the family. You've been an absolute... You've done brilliantly in your last 2 on your debut and tonight as well. You're joining us. I think you join us for the watch along tomorrow as well. I think you and Tequila.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So where can people find you, sir?
Well, of course, they can find me on here whenever Spurs watch alongs or podcasts are on. But they can also find me on the European Football Till I Die as well, because I'm going to be the host of one of those shows. So I'll be great to see you all there if you're wanting to know more about Eredivisie news, La Liga news, La Ligue 1 news, Serie A content. If you want to watch any, because we'll probably get special derbies out, like the Milan derbies and stuff like that. We'll get that sort of stuff put out there. We'll be having live streams of that. So if that's your sort of cup of tea, instead of not just having to watch Tottenham Hotspur content all the time, which I know is very boring for a lot of you who aren't fans of the club, but I'd hope if you come across there and give a subscribe over this, that'll be great for us. It'll help me out, it'll help Demo out, it'll help Tequila out, because they'll all be helping me with that channel, even if Demo can't, or Philip can't, or Com can't, Tequila will be there. If Tequila can't, so on and so forth. So you'll be able to find me on these 2 channels.
Yeah, well, the other channel is for all your European. We're going to follow. Me and Philip are going to do a lot of League of Ireland. We're going to do all the internationals on there. I'm sure Colin and Boris will do the English games on there as well, and all the English stuff. We're going to do Bundesliga, Serie A, all the other leagues. Philip is joining us for the watch along tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last one, so I thought we'd do it as a foursome tomorrow. 4 of us all watching the game as a bit of fun. It is the last pre-season.
I don't like doing foursomes. I like more attention.
Demo, use your words, please. Think about them, and you say, "Well,
that's why people subscribe to the channel, because of what I say." But on that bombshell, we're going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. And whatever you do, come on, you Spurs and Big Ange. We trust.
Guys.
Guys.